I'm Dylan Thuras, reporting for Obscura, and I'm about to go row out to the sunken submarine of Coney Island. We can find this unbelievable sight right here behind the Home Depot. The sunken scrap metal submarine. It sounds like a myth, but here in Coney Island, it turns out to be very real. It's a story of big dreams, lost treasure, and a forgotten body of water. But before I can tell you the story of the submarine, I have to find it. Huh. I feel like maybe there was something else over here before. It's been a few years, but I'm pretty sure this is basically the way you get it. So it's actually kind of more behind this CubeSmart now. I mean, you can see even from that entrance that it's a weird park. It's a public park. This is one of New York's public parks. It's listed on the New York's Park Department website. But the whole thing has always had this slightly illegitimate feel to it. All this Queen's Anne's lace blooming right now. It's nice. I don't know if you... Very pretty weed. So this is something I always liked about this, is how immediately, both slightly sketchy and kind of a little bit, So I don't want to bother these people. There's some people who are set up here and I want to leave them alone. So we'll go back the way we came.
This area, the remains of the creek that made Coney an actual island, it used to go by another name. It was called Gravesend Creek. The name has Dutch origins, but to me it sounds like a place where the dead end up. And it's not that far from the truth.
What are you? I'm trying to figure out what I think it is. It could be like a goat or something, honestly, or some kind of, because it has, now what do I know? If you can figure out what kind of skull this is in the comments, please let us know. I should be better at this than I am. Whoa! That is a giant dead horseshoe crab body. It's a bread. That's the funny thing about the stretches like this, is they're just this weird mix of totally natural world and then Doritos chip bags.
Over time, this forgotten creek became a dumping ground for anything people wanted to dispose of. In particular, old ships. Unwanted by their owners, ships were sailed in here and set on fire, burned all the way down to their timbers, leaving behind these wooden skeletons. But there's one wreck that stands out from the rest, one that fills the imagination of anyone who sees it.
There's our first sighting, actually. So that's there off in the distance. That's the sub. You can see it's still got its little yellow top over there. You would think that the yellow submarine thing would be a reference to the the Beatles, but it wasn't. It was just the cheapest color of paint that could be found. The path that I had been planning to take is pretty much totally overgrown. So we're gonna go around the other side. And we're gonna go get in a boat and row out to the submarine, which I'm really excited to get on the water and check it out. On the water, I'm gonna be in an inflatable raft, but that's on the water for me. Hey, how you doing? I've never actually put this boat together before. The submarine's called the Questor I. So this should be probably the Questor II, would be a good name for this ship.
The Questor I was the dream of Jerry Bianco, a shipyard worker from Brooklyn. In 1956, Jerry heard about the sinking of the SS Andrea Doria, an Italian ocean liner that had gone to the bottom of the ocean off the coast of Nantucket. Jerry figured he was the guy to go and recover the ship. All he needed was a submarine.
Yo, boy. It almost feels like you could walk out there when it's low tide. There's the wrecks are kind of so close around it. But I think that's not a good plan. I think that's not a good plan. Oh yeah. It's right there. That's awesome.
Jerry actually had some experience with submarines, having worked on one as a shipbuilder at the Navy Yard. So along with library research and a rich imagination, he created his plan for Questor I And starting in 1967, bit by bit, Jerry welded together his scrap metal submarine. When it was finished, he had it tested by the Navy, who found it capable of diving to 600 feet, more than enough to get to the Andrea Doria.
It's actually a little bit easier because I was afraid that I was gonna have to blow this raft up without a pump, which actually seems impossible. There's no way. So, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by both the heftiness of the raft, the like kind of solidity of it, and how quickly it's come together. All right, I gotta make the oars. This is a good example of a kind of a place and a story that like you could live here and never know that there was a homemade submarine like sitting in the middle of Coney Island Creek. It's like always wonderful to remember how magical and mythical the place you live in is. Okay, alrighty. Ugh. Oh boy, gross. This boat is gonna be gross. Oh, that's a smell. All right, so, like diapers, kind of organic. Yes, it might actually be diapers. All right, we're on the water. This is happening. No one said I had to go quickly, so I see some obstacles already. All right. Oh boy. Yeah. Crap. Oh God. All right, this is extremely shallow. This is like a foot of water. I may have overestimated the draft, I think. I really could be walking in this. I mean, not that I would want to be. Yuck. All right. All right, here we go. So we're getting closer. This thing is big. This thing is really big. I knew it was like 40 feet, but it's a lot like the dimensions of a school bus. This has been a long-standing like quest of mine. It's like something I wanted to do for a really long while. And this thing, a homemade submarine, of which there aren't, a lot of examples in the world, is sitting right here in Brooklyn, and I've never gone out to it before. I mean, I've come to Coney Island Creek before. I've seen it from a distance. This is my first time actually getting up close, and it's a lot more impressive up close. It almost looks like a plane. Like it's got sort of a kind of like crashed plane vibe to it.
So on October 19th, 1970, the submarine was ready. Jerry's daughter Patricia christened it with a bottle of champagne, and they lowered it into the water. But Gravesend Creek had other ideas. The sub promptly rolled onto its side and got stuck. Jerry spent a few years trying to save the submarine, but that was its only voyage. Years later, a storm pulled the sub out to this spot, where I am, leaving a monument to Jerry Bianco's bigger-than-life dreams.
So, made it here, out to the sub. That's it behind me. Here. Is that better? Yeah, sort of. And it's gigantic. It's really quite impressive. I can see fish jumping around. There's like birds flying everywhere. It's pretty kind of nice out here. It's just a pretty place to be. All right, I'm gonna try and go around the sub. So this is it. This is the Questor I in all of its glory. You could reasonably ask the question, who cares? Who cares? There's a submarine sitting in the Coney Island Creek. What does that matter? I think not just the submarine, but this whole place is a time capsule of New York. You can see straight through it. And when I see something like this, my world just
grows. It suddenly feels like anything is possible. If there is a sunken, or partially sunken, if there is a homemade submarine sitting in the middle of Coney Island Creek, what else am I missing around me? What else is tucked away in Prospect Park or Crown Heights or Harlem or any other part of the city or any other part of the world? This is just a tiny story in one little piece of an endless landscape of discovery and wonder. And I really like coming out and seeing these things in person because they become real. They leave the land of mythology and they become an actual object filled with what seem to be nesting pigeons. If my goal was to not get wet, that was abandoned a long time ago. I'm gonna smell like Coney Island Creek. All right. Whew. So we got to get out of here because the tide is actually coming up pretty quickly. It raised like a foot in the last few minutes. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Click to subscribe and tell me what other great New York adventures I should go on next. I loved doing this, taking this quest, and I want to hear from you what other quests you think are worth undertaking.